Thank you. Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Assalamu alaikum, namaskar, wherever you are. My name is Dr. Faz Mehmood, and I would like to welcome all of you to this session. And this is my privilege that because this is the second time we are doing this session, although because of our convention, annual convention. But it's going to be a little different than whatever I did last week in person. So please forgive me because I couldn't remember what did I say because I usually say extemporaneously more than I read something. So today we will explore uh, a, an impressive topic beyond the white coat leadership skills for medical doctors. So today we will explore how cultivating leadership qualities can elevate your practice, enhance patient care, and drive healthcare excellence. And in the rapidly evening this healthcare landscape, strong leadership is more crucial than ever. And as a medical professional, we need to expert in our fields and effective leaders who can inspire and guide our teams towards delivering the highest quality of care. Leadership in medicine is not just about making decisions, it's about influencing positive change, fostering collaborations, and creating an environment where patients and healthcare providers can thrive. We all have experiences that have reinforced our beliefs that leadership is an essential skill for medical professionals, regardless of their position or specialty. So, before we dive into the specifics, let's take a moment to reflect on what leadership means to us as an individual, as a collective in healthcare community. And leadership is not a one size all fit concept. It is about leveraging our unique strength and adapting the needs of our teams and patients. And so let's embark this journey together and become better leaders. Ultimately, we have to become a better doctor. In terms of leadership, the best book ever written in in our time, especially, was written by one of my mentor, my friend, my business partner, and my guru, Dr. John C. Maxwell. It's called 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Although he wrote like 47 books only on leadership and total 116 books altogether and sold like 35 million around the globe. But this is the book which is usually in Western world and in USA and North America, it's considered as a Bible of the leadership. So I took some script out of that and some script through my own experiences, and most of our uh, stories are from our own country where we belong to, where we born. So I was born in Pakistan in a small city of province of Sindh, Mirpur Khas, and you heard about the Sindhri Am. That was from my Mango city, and I grew up there. And then I did my medical degree from Liaquat Medical University, which is called. It used to be Liaquat Medical College, and I'm so proud to see Dr. Farah Basi also at the same stage because we both are from the same school. And definitely, it was a great school. In those days, we have very, very few medical colleges and schools in the entire country. So I graduated from there. I practiced there. I ran my own hospital in Karachi for 12 years. And then I moved to United States of America. And since 1994, I'm living here. And then I did my master's in business. And then I became a regular, I left the practice of medicine, but I started practicing and teaching the leadership, communication skills, and dream building. And I work with so many Fortune 500 companies, and I still work with them. So it's a privilege for me to be all with my doctor colleagues. So I will try my level best to give you as much as information give in this short period of time because this topic is so vast and it's so close to my heart. I mean, I live, I breathe, and I do everything for in my life is about leadership because to me, everything. everything rises and fall on leadership, regardless of your profession, regardless of your field, regardless of where you lead, but everything rises and fall on leadership. So those laws, I will start very few laws, and in detail, if you would like to know, we can do later on in some different show or some different program. But the first law, which is very crucial for all of us, is called law of the lid. And law of the lid is leadership ability is the lid that determines a person's level of effectiveness. The lower an individual's ability to lead and lower the lid on his potential. You can see, I mean, if let me illustrate you by my hands. If you can you see me very clearly?
Yes.
Okay. So let's assume this my left hand is my lead, Dr. Fazl's lead for the leadership. And from 1 to 10, if I am 5, where my team will be, where my business will be, where my practice will be, well, whoever I'm leading, where my community, where my country, whatever I'm leading is not going to be over 5. It's going to be 4, 3, 2, or 5 maximum. But good news is we the law of the lead room has a flexibility. We can always develop and we can expand our lead level. So more, if we want to take our company or take our organization or take our practice higher than where we are, so we have to raise our lid first. If I go from 5 to 7 or 8, then everything will behind it is going to come up and it will go up to 7 and 8. So technically, the law of the lid determines your level of effectiveness, which is said by John C. Maxwell, and that's really makes sense to me. And when I started working on that, I experienced that, I practiced it. I can tell you a quick story before we go to the next one. There were two brothers in 1940 from New Hampshire. They came out of that state for accomplishing their American dream and went to the Hollywood to become successful. And in those days, in 1940s, the Hollywood industry was just coming up. It was very new, and they did try there, but they couldn't make it. And finally, they didn't want to go back with the failure, so they decided to stay in California. So both the brothers they decided to do something different because Hollywood is not the real cup of tea for them. And finally, they decided to open a small restaurant, and they started. Uh, the both brothers, uh, Dick and Morris, they started a restaurant there, and they start serving food. And it was a small restaurant, and it was a small township where they were working. So in a year or so, they start selling almost $150,000 sales were in their business, and they were making 50, 60 grand out of that, and they were splitting out 30, 35,000 each. And they were happy because there was a lot of money in those days in 1940s. 35,000 if you're making was a great money. So they were happy, but unfortunately there was nothing to move on, and because it was a small township, so they said let's move to a bigger town, and then they moved to Pasanda, California, which is only 50 to 60 miles from Hollywood, which was a bigger town than the previous one. And they started a restaurant there. But this time they changed this idea a little bit and they said, let's cook on, rather than serving like in the plates and all that, we will use the paper products. And also, we are going to do on a assembly line, we are going to cook the food so people can come and leave quickly, and it's going to save a lot of time. And they started that business, and suddenly in a year or two they established that, and their sell went to half a million and plus, and they started making 150 grand a year, and they were splitting still 80 90,000 dollars per person, both brothers. And there was a guy who was supplying them the milkshake machines. His name was Ray Kroc, and he was supplying them those machines, and he was observing them since the last restaurant and now in this, and he was looking at their success rate, and he walked to them and he said, would you mind if I would like to be your partner, and we can uh, combine this thing, and we can jointly raise this business or increase this business. First they resisted, and then finally they thought that okay, let's try it. And he said, I'm going to come up with another idea that we are going to franchise this. And finally, they start partnering this for another year, and they opened a couple more stores. But because these two brothers were not happy because they were making over 100 grand now a piece, so they were thinking that we are good enough, we are in comfort zone. Why should we work so hard? Why should we chase everybody and in different stores and teach them and train them? So finally, they didn't feel comfortable. So Ray Kroc offered them a deal that if I'll buy the entire business, I'll pay you $2 million. So would you be interested to sell it? And they said, of course. They took the $2 million and ran. And this guy took over this business. But there was a condition in that taking that business off. He said, I'm going to keep the same name and same signboards. And they said, oh, fine, we don't care. Give us our $2 million. Now, this is an old saying that if you do something on a right time, a right place, that results in a right way. But do you think it was a right time for only Ray Kroc, or it was a right time for all three? I believe all the three people were in a right time, in a right opportunity. But because these two brothers, their lid level was at some point up to the $2 million, and they ran away. And this gentleman start expanding this business. And in 1960, it turns into a university for franchises or a fast food chain. And now we all know with the name of McDonald. This is the history of McDonald, which I was telling you from Dick and Morris. But again, because law of the lid, you can see the success rate, how they were successful. So, how well you lead and how potentially you show your lid obviously determines how well you succeed. And you can see from this story. So this is called the law of lid. So if your lid is higher, the potentials are higher. If your lid is lower, you cannot lead people right. So first thing we all have to do as a leader, we have to raise the lid. See, you can see sometimes we don't raise our lid. We expand it, but we don't raise the lid. Still, we stays the same. So definitely always try to leadership ability. You have to learn it and gain it and increase it and take it higher than wherever you are. We don't take a seat. So that when your lid goes higher, you can expand more. So this is called law of the lid. And now let's walk to the second law because it's a very short time and I have to squeeze it as much as I can. So which is called law of influence.
Dr.
So
Fazal, we are unable to see your slides.
oh, you can see that.
No.
Oh, outcome. Uh, you can see. Let me see. Can you see that?
Yes.
Is the whole slide?
Yes. Thank you. Allow the lady. Yep. Whole slide.
Okay.
Thank you.
So yeah, let's see because I have to make sure I can move this. Hmm. So this is called law of the lid. The law of the lid we already discussed. You have to raise the lid so you can have more potential to lead people. The second law, can you see now, Zishan, the law of influence?
Yes, Dr. Fazal, we are able to see it.
Okay. This is called law of influence. 30 years ago, when I came in this United States from Pakistan, I mean, I have a different ideas about because my career was quite different as a medical doctor. Although I ran a hospital, I did a lot of good things, and I was working with different organizations. I was leading them, but I didn't know really what the leadership is all about. But 30 years ago, I started reading some books when I came to USA, just trying to explore my uh, things, I mean, to how to survive in USA, वो जो कहलाता है उर्दू में कि पहला रगड़ा बहुत जरूरी होता है. So I was going through that hard time, and I was trying to explore how to live gracefully in USA. So I started reading some books, and the first thing I read was the leadership book, and that showed me the first thing, the real definition of that. What is leadership? Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Now, when you go on Google or you start searching about the leadership, there are so many different things will pop up. And a lot of people, 99% people, they think that leadership means a title. Leadership means a position. But technically, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less, regardless wherever you are, whoever you are leading, whether in your family, in your community, in your country, or in your political party, or in your organization, in your practice as a doctor, that is influence. I didn't say that bad influence or good influence. It could be either way. If you are a bad leader, you are going to influence bad, but still you are going to influence. And if you are a good leader, you are going to influence good because you are a good leader. So leadership is all about influencing others. If you are thinking that you are a leader and you turn around and you don't see anybody is following you or you are not influencing anybody, you're taking just a walk. You're not a leader. So the true measure of the leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. Sorry, I'm sorry. Pura, something is wrong in slides. Okay. Can you see that or not?
Yes, I can see it's a first law of the lit, but not in the slide mode.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Something happened. I thought that Walid had set up that, but can you?
You need to put in the slideshow
Where is? Oh, here.
on the bottom, the cup icon. Yeah,
Yes.
this.
Okay. Okay. Now.
Yes, now we can see that first.
Okay. So the law of the influence, like I was telling you, is all about when a leader speaks, people listen because you influence people. So if you think that you are a leader and nobody's following you or you're not influencing anybody, you're just taking a walk. Now, there are so many myths about influence. So let me explain that very quickly. There is a major myth is about that management myth because I got a manager position, so I'm the leader. I'm going to lead this back. It's not necessary that if you are a manager that you are leading to. I mean, you are managing people, of course, and you have a right to order them, and they are going to follow your orders. But you are not still the leader because they have to follow you. They don't want to follow you. So keep in mind, so management myth is very common and people get confused with that. Then there is another myth is that I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm a leader. No, you can be an entrepreneur, but you are not still a leader unless you don't learn the skill of the leadership. Because sometimes people who are financially successful, they open up their business and they think that they are leading the people. No, sometimes you can still be an entrepreneur, but you cannot be a leader, but you can hire leaders. You can hire your staff, and you see the leadership will, you will find some people who can lead your organization or your business to the next level. So you have to understand how to lead only that person who's going to lead the pack. So same thing, there is another myth is about knowledge myth because, oh, I know the subject, it means I am the leader. We have a lot of PhDs. They know the subject. But do you think they are good leaders? Most of them are not that good because they know the subject, but knowing subject is not good enough until unless you don't know the leadership skills. See? So always make sure that knowledge is not good enough. Knowledge is required, but not the only thing to become a good leader. Same thing, a lot of time we say, I'm a pioneer of this thing, so I'm the leader. You can get there first, but if no one follows you, you are not a leader. You have to have an influence first. Okay, if I'm the pioneer, doesn't mean that I am the leader. I can get there first. Yes, I am the first one who got on the mountain, but nobody was behind. Do you think I was a leader? जंगल में मोर नाचा किसने देखा? So that's not the leadership. Leadership uh, doesn't require that you stand up and just say, I'm the first one. No, you don't have to be the first one. You have to be the leader who can take people along with you, not just by yourself. Same thing, there is a position, though I have this position. Uh, it's not the position that makes the leader, it's the leader that makes a position. Sometimes on a great position, we have very stupid people sitting on those and they don't know how to run that position. But there are some intelligent people who can get to that position and make that position works. So the leadership is all about influence. There are seven factors of leadership before I go to the next level, which are very important to become an influential leader. So number one is your character. People can sense the truth and integrity. You know, people can see through you. So make sure you are a truthful and you have an integrity in your life. And then other thing is called relationship. Surround yourself with the right people. More you have a good relationship with the other people, more you are going to have an influence on that. Then, like I said, knowledge, study, learn, know the facts, and do your homework. Means you need the knowledge, but that's not the only thing you need to become a leader. You have to use the knowledge at the right time. That's another one. Then intuition. And intuition is a very important factor because you have energy, you have a morale, you have a timing, you have a momentum, and how do you feel? And intuition is basically in tuning with others. When you in tune with others, that's how the sixth sense or intuition develops in you. जैसे कि when we pray from God, what we ask God to give us this, give us that, give us that. Basically, we are trying to speak with God. We are trying to in tune with the God through our frequency. God is even closest to our jugular vein, but still we are trying to talk to Him. And when God feels that you are truthful, you have an integrity, and God wants to respond to you, then God gives you that idea which you never thought that you God tells you your potential which you never discovered yourself. So definitely that intuitive power leadership always have. They see before, they see more, and they see far. And same thing, experience. Experience makes you a better leader too, because what challenges you have had in the past. Like Dr. Humera, she's our leader from APPNA, and obviously through her whole experience, it's not a one-day thing which she did. She just not became the president of APPNA in a moment. She took the whole journey. She learned through her past experiences, with the knowledge, with integrity, with all those relationships in the entire organization. That's why she's our president. So that makes you a successful leader. Then past successes. What is your track record? How you extended yourself, taken a risk, and succeeded. This whole history makes you the leader. So your track record, your successes, your minor successes, your small successes makes you a great leader. So start taking that journey. And then your ability, what you're capable of. So these seven factors, if you consider yourself, you become an influential person. And once you become leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. So you turn into an influencer, and that's how. Uh, So, true measure of leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. What type of influence we are offering those who follow us? Insecure leader often influence people to keep others down to protect their leadership position in the group. And this is a shame. The best leader realize the leadership is always about raising the people to their highest potential, even if it means they one day become better leaders than themselves. So always influence. Uh, the true leadership cannot be awarded, appointed, or assigned. It comes only from influence, and that cannot be mandated. It must be earned. So we have to earn it by learning that skill. But good part is it's learnable skill. Now, this is a third law, which is very important, which I want to focus on, and it's you have to understand this. It's called the law of process. Leadership develops daily, not in a day. This means you can tell where a person will end up watching by their daily habits and priorities. It means that as a leader, we must have a personal plan of growth. What can you see when you look at the person's daily agenda? Number one is priorities, passion, abilities, relationships, attitude, personal disciplines, vision, and influence. All of these things contribute to the destination you will arrive at later on in your journey of life. Therefore, it doesn't matter at all where you hope to end up if you do not first determine which road you ought to be traveling and to get there. The law of process also comes into play as we set out to lead others. Law of process is very important in that sense because 99% time uh, we try to find a shortcut in most of our things in our life. So that's why uh, we had a joke when I was in the convention and I was talking to Dr. Parabasi. So it was a joke that we we have those microwave leaders here. It's just like the bag of popcorns you put in the microwave and turn on for a few minutes, and they are going to jump and put. And after 5 minutes, they are going to claim, "Oh, I am a leader now." So we don't need a microwave leaders. Believe me, we need a crock pot. They can be marinated right. They can smell so good, and they can be cooked so right. So in our leadership, we need a really crockpot leader. So who can go through the process, who can go through the trainings, who can do the all the factors which they need to do it. So law of process, because sometimes what happens, we overestimate the event and we underestimate the process. We always talk, oh, I'm attending this training from APPNA of this leadership, and Dr. Faz and Dr. Farah Abbasi and Dr. Humera are teaching me, so I will be a leader. No, no, you will learn, but you are not going to be a leader unless you practice it. Number one, the event gives you, basically encourages you for a challenge, but process actually encourages you for a change. So you have to go through the process, not for the event only. Event uh, encourages you uh, to go there and to make a decision, but to become successful you need to go through the process. So always learn about how to be successful, not about to be just. We always make a decision. Yeah, oh well, this was a good thing which Dr. Farah told me, and this Dr. Fazal told me. Yeah, I have to change this because you made a decision by this event, but you didn't become that which you want to. So make sure you have to go through the process, and you have to go through the entire process and learn it slowly, gradually, and go through that. The most important part in the process is you have to definitely learn. there are few stages. Make sure you keep in mind. The first stage is phase one is called I don't know what I don't know. All right. So is the second phase is called I know that I need to know. And the third stage is I know what I don't know. And the fourth stage is called I know and grow and start to show. So these four phases you complete, and there is another fifth phase I can say I simply go because of what I know. So you have to go through this entire process, then you become a really good leader and you become very influential. And obviously, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. So to become a better leader, you have to run through these processes. Then let's go to the, like I said, I don't know what I don't know. I know that I need to know. I know what I don't know. And I know and grow, and it starts to show. And I simply go because of what I know. So if you do these five steps, you will see a change. You can learn to lead, and learning to lead is a process. It is the journey that makes the leader. The secret of our success is found in our daily agenda. So the law of process is leadership is a daily agenda. It's not a day. A lot of time people say, one day I will be doing this, I will be doing this, someday I'm going to do this. My friends, there is no someday or there is no one day in any calendar in this globe. You have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but I never saw a one day or someday. So just forget it. You have to do it daily. Daily means daily, every single day. You have to learn something new. You have to do something good. So that's how you are going to become and turn into a great leader. There is another law, it's called the law of connection. And please pay attention that leaders touch a heart before they ask for a hand. If you don't touch people's heart, you cannot ask to follow you. So the law of connection says leader touches heart before they ask for a hand. And there's also some tie in here with the famous quote, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You develop credibility with the people when you connect with them and show that you genuinely care and want to help them. So, to truly connect with people, you have to value them, learn about them, and then adapt to who they are. Do not expect people to change themselves to follow you. I think to a great degree, relationship is the leadership. Relationship is the leadership. Let me put this way, people won't go along with you if they cannot get along with you. So the law of connection means that we understand people's self-identity, meet them where they are, and build a connection with them first before we try to get them to follow us or buy into our vision or buy into what we are looking. We want to go wherever we want to go. How do you connect with people? That's a very important thing to learn. Number one, connect with yourself. Connect with yourself. If you don't connect with yourself, nobody's going to connect with you. So always try to connect with you. Let me just put in this way, if you have never connected emotionally with yourself, you will never be able to connect emotionally with someone else. You have to know yourself, you have to accept yourself, you have to love yourself. You can't love someone else if you don't love yourself. You can't relate to others if you can't relate to yourself. If anybody is home internally, there will be no one home externally. Connect with yourself because you have to know yourself to grow yourself. In personal growth development, there is a law, it's called law of awareness. So law of awareness is part of this law of connection. You have to know yourself to grow yourself. So keep in mind. Number two is share with openness and sincerity. It's best to open and sincere with people. It develops a sense of trust. You cannot connect with people if you don't trust them. How many times you heard that wherever I go in different conferences and seminars when I speak there, I always ask this question, what is the most powerful compliment you can give to someone? And believe me or not, 90% time, Uh, Answer was the same. Oh, we love you. I love you. We love you. And you heard that too. But believe me or not, we love so many people we don't trust them. So do you think it's a most powerful compliment? Of course not. Because trust is a more powerful compliment than love. Because we love so many people, but we don't trust them. So better build the trust between you and someone that's going to connect you. So you have to be sincere. You should never ask your team to do. Leadership is about living your message. I mean, so it develops a sense of trust when you start connecting with them. You are not willing to, if you don't do anything yourself, you cannot ask people to do the same thing for you. Nobody's going to do it. Be a tour guide, not a travel agent. You understand? Like travel agent, when you go there, they will give you a very fancy brochure, and they are going to make your tickets, and they are going to start advising you. Oh, you go to France and you go next to the Eiffel Tower, and there is a nicest restaurant, blah blah blah. And when at the end you ask, "Have you been there?" No, I never been at the airport, because they just read the brochure. So don't try to be a travel agent. But in place of that, if there is a tour guide, he's going to say, "I've been there 100 times. I will take you there with me." So be a tour guide as a leader, not to be a travel agent. Don't show the way. You have to, like Zishan said, you have to know the way, then you have go the way, and then show the way. So the build trust and credibility, and it's a fundamental aspect of your effective leadership. Before you can lead your people, you must know them. So you have to know them too, and you need to understand what matters to them. Because leadership is all about others, not about ourselves. We think leadership is a privilege. No, my friends, leadership is responsibility. So don't consider that leadership is about you. Leadership is all about others. So, what their strengths and what their weaknesses are, you have to find out. The only way to truly know your people is to spend time with them. That's why leaders walk slowly through the crowd. Understanding your people is a prerequisite for effective leadership. So, leader always walks slowly through the crowd. And number five is communicate on their level. Don't communicate on your level. Come down to where they are and understand what they are thinking. The expression I have is to put the cookies on the lower shelf and let everybody have one. Don't be an educator. You know what's the difference between an educator and a communicator? As a leader, you have to be a communicator. So let me explain you. An educator is a person who takes the simplest thing and make it so complex, so keep his job. But a communicator pulls the most difficult thing and make it so simple so everybody can understand. And that's why he is a good communicator. So try to be a great communicator. Don't take something simple and makes it complicated is an educator. While a communicator takes something complicated and makes it simple and gets it down to their level so they can understand it and grab and hold it. And the number six, gives yourself totally to the people of the uh, give yourself totally to the people. Whatever your vision is, whoever your people are, keep yourself. Don't be a leader that buys into the vision or not into the people. A leader who buys into the vision, not the people. So, so be in their, you always empathize with them. You go in their shoes and feel their problems. Leader who is a real leader always understands the problems. Like a follower, they know the problem. They know the problem. But there is a difference between leader and a follower. The follower only understands what is the problem is, but leader knows the problem and knows the potential of the team too, where he is going to lead. So that's an extra you have to perform there. So definitely the good news is you have create relationship, but you are not going anywhere by into the vision, and people both are essential. So you have to not only buy in their vision or buy in their problem, you have to also buy in those people too. You have to empathize with them, and you have to feel it the way they feel. So connecting is all about others, like I mentioned you, and connecting always requires energy. You cannot be without energy. You cannot connect with people. You have to match the energy of the people. If they are frustrated, you have to show your sympathy in the same energy, with the same energy level, so they can feel that you are listening them, you are caring them. And then connecting requires simplicity. We make it so complicated things. Don't make it complicated. Always try to make it simple, because it's all about simplicity so they can understand. So there are four H's for the connection. You can see right on your screen. You have to have a humor on a both ends. You have to have a sense of humor and you have to understand their humor. Same thing, you have to have a good heart to connect with people. If your heart is not really feeling the way they want to show you, then you are not going to connect with them. Then leaders always help people. Unfortunately, in our culture, people think who has a more helper, he is a big leader. No, leader has to be the best helper to everyone. Not the helpers are going to be the leaders. You have to help people, not getting help from people. So you have to help. If you are not helping, you are not a great leader. And then hope. The leaders are dealers of hope. They give them hope. That's how the leadership goes up. So you can't move the people to the action unless you move them with the emotion. It would be best if you led with the context. The law of connection is leaders touch a heart before they ask for a hand. There's another law which is very important, and again, you have to understand this law is also very carefully. It's called the law of buy in. People buy into the leader, then the vision. So prove yourself, and people will buy into you. Many people who approach the area of vision in leadership has it all backward. They believe that if the cause is good enough, people will automatically buy into it and follow. But that's not how leadership works. People will automatically buy into it and follow, but that's not how leadership. People don't at first follow worthy causes. They follow worthy leaders who promotes causes they can believe in, because they have to believe in you first. They have to trust in you first. Then your vision or your mission or your whatever you are claiming for as a leader, they are going to trust on you first. If you they don't like you, if they don't buy in you, they won't buy in your vision, because vision which is you is visible to you yet. They didn't even see that. So if we roll this back into the law of picture, because there is another law, it's called law of picture. They are cousins to the buy-in. Same thing. Uh, if your credibility as a leader is questionable at the best, you are not going to have people willing to follow your vision and your casting, because they doubt you can get them there. So let me ask you, I mean, how do you see how people are going to buy in you? What are the qualities you have to have so they can buy in you first? And the best example in this entire universe is from the leader who was the unique and who was the only leader for all of us, and nobody was close to him and nobody will be close to him. And he was our Aqaid Namdar Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who practiced 40 years with integrity, never lied to anyone, never cheated to anyone. He proved themselves. People were watching him for last 40 years. And after 40 years, when he asked them that if I will tell you something, would you believe me in? And they said, of course. So people, they bought into him first before they bought into his deen and before they bought into his vision. So same thing, no leader can be better than him. And that's the best example we can say. So the best is you have to show your integrity, honesty, and vision before you go for asking them to follow you. And when you ask them to give their hand to you, they are not going to. So that's the most important bind. People sees the problem, like I said, leader sees the problem and also sees the potential. So first you have to understand them, you have to do. And then vision is definitely a secondary thing when they are going to buy in you. And it's okay. Sometime people, there is a very good thing I can tell you this way. What is the difference between a leader and the follower? Leader always sees a dream or a vision first and then look for the people to follow and believe in his vision and in his dream, while the follower looks for the leader first and they find their vision or dream through him. So you are the visionary person, they are not. So you have to, but you cannot sell your vision unless you don't sell yourself first. So how do I take the vision from me to we? That's the most important. That's a law of buying. How you can tell them that this is not only my vision, it's going to be our vision. So to buy as a leader, those people in your favor is they have to buy in you first. Then let's move on to, because time is too short, the law of timing. When to lead is as important as what to do and where to go. Timing is often the difference between success and failure in an endeavor. The law of timing is essential to a leader's success. I emphasize that many people have been successful in their leadership because they understood the law, while many have failed because they violated it. As we develop, our leadership abilities must go beyond knowing how to lead. We must go and engage in the learning process of discerning when it is the right time to do so, fostering a sense of eagerness and curiosity. So, we have to learn the law of timing, which is the most important thing. How we can learn, let me give you an example. Because what happens if we don't work in the right time? The wrong action at the wrong time leads to disaster. But the right action at the wrong time brings resistance. The wrong action at the right time is called a mistake. However, the right action at the right time results in success. So the timing is very important. Sometimes what happens, we have a very right action, but we have a timing is wrong. So people don't accept it right away. They resist. But at the same time, sometimes we have a right time, but we do a wrong action. So people may ignore us as a mistake. So the best way is the right action at the right time. And leader, he has his responsibility to find the right time to do the right things. That's why he's a leader. Otherwise, what's the difference between a follower and leader? The leader knows the problem and also he knows the potential and he knows how to handle it, how to respond it, while the follower only knows the problem. That's why he follows you, he comes through you. So always learn the right timing. And at this point, I think that we have enough because as I was told that 45 minutes, so I think that I'm not right 45 minutes now. So, but anyway, I want to thank you for Dr. Zishan, Dr. Farah Abbasi, and Dr. Umera, and our friend Naveed, and all Walid, and all those friends who helped us in this entire program. And I would love to continue in case if you need all my services. It's always there for all of you. But this is a very vast subject I cannot cover in just 45 minutes. It takes every law at least takes a couple of hours to go in detail, and we can not only train people, we can teach people, also we can interact with the people, and so we can go through the Q&A and all that section. And they all are learnable skills. The good part is learnable skills. I go wherever I go. This question always comes to me. Hey, Faz, the leadership is very important. I love to learn this, but are they born leaders? And I always laugh and I said, yes, of course they were born. I never saw an unborn leader in my life. So, but I don't want to see either. So my point is, it's nobody is born with a leadership skill. Although there are few people because of the environments, they were leaning towards leadership. Their environmental leaning was, but otherwise you can be in the line and learn it. Simple. Anybody can learn that. So anything which I can do, I will be more than happy. And with that, I will turn over to Dr. Zishan for Q&A, and I will be here. And if I can answer any question, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fazal Mahmood, for